Our next speaker is Ohio House Majority Floor Leader Barbara Sears. Sears is serving her third term as a state representative. In 2013, she was elected by her colleagues to serve as Majority Floor Leader. Before joining the Ohio House, Sears served for 10 years on the Sylvania City Council, serving her last 4 as president of that council. She is also a co-owner of Noble and Sears, which specializes in employee benefits and financial planning. She was named Legislator of the Year by the Ohio Association of Medical Equipment Services in 2008 and was given the Guardian of Small Business Award by the National Federation of Independent Businesses in 2010. So if you'll help me welcome her.
Thank you and good morning. Wow, I'm not sure I'm thrilled about following Colorado. You guys have a tough road to hoe. You know, in Ohio, we're actually the exact opposite of Colorado in that we have Governor Kasich is our governor, a nice solid conservative Republican. We have a Republican Senate, and you'll hear from Senate President Keith Faber a little bit later. And we have a supermajority in the House also, so both our House and Senate have supermajorities of Republicans, which in fact is a plus and a minus sometimes also. 2 years ago, we did our budget with an $8 billion structural deficit and managed to come out of that with a good budget, sound budget, balanced budget, and did not raise taxes and managed to deal with an $8 billion issue. This time we have a surplus, and I'm not sure which is easier to deal with, deficit or surplus. Both have their own complications. So the governor presents a budget to us. In Ohio, we are virtually a year-round legislature. So the governor presents his budget in February. 3 key pillars as part of his budget: tax reform, education, is Medicaid. And as much as we enjoy a good relationship with our governor, we have essentially broken down his primary focus of his budget and have pulled it apart only to put it back together again. So we are today Representative Ann Gonzalez, who is here from Ohio, who chairs our Health and Human Services Subcommittee of Finance. Today's amendment day for us. So tomorrow we vote the bill out of Finance Committee, and Thursday we vote our budget out of off the House floor, and we present it over to President Faber. In the tax reform area, the governor did what a lot of us believe in. Philosophically, we believe in lowering or broadening the base, bring more people into it by broadening the base and lower the rate. The governor chose to pick a variety of service industries in which to begin taxing: lobbyists, accountants, attorneys, a lot of different service kind of industries. It didn't necessarily go over incredibly well. We certainly agreed with him on the idea of lowering the income tax rate and looking at the surplus that we have. We've elected to pull the tax reform piece out of it, but yet keep in a small income tax reduction as part of it. One of the other areas in Colorado, please send any of your folks that want to invest in oil and gas to Ohio. We're more than willing to take them, and although the budget came with a severance tax for our friends in the oil and gas, the House has removed that, so they are more than welcome to come on over to God's country. In the education department, our education funding mechanism has been under fire for as long as I've been cognitively aware as far as how we fund it. We are looking at doing some massive changes in that as we try to figure out how to put more dollars to sort of follow the child and increase the ability for parents to have choice in education, which is a big priority of ours in the House. Medicaid, the governor had proposed Medicaid expansion, which for Ohio, as being someone who's probably spent an inordinate amount of time in that area, in Ohio the math works to do the expansion. He envisioned doing a full expansion. We envisioned doing something different than that. But I think we're going to figure out at some point the right Ohio plan, but it won't be part of the budget. That's one where our budget has to be passed by 7/1, July 1, but we don't really need to worry about the expansion component of it for a few months longer, so I think we're going to take some extra time to study that issue. So we've been really, really busy, kind of really focusing in on the budget area. our rainy day fund went from 89 cents, President, is that what it was?
87.
87 cents. Actually, your Senate budget staff person wrote a check to double that, just because he wanted to have the ability to say he doubled the state rainy day fund, which was kind of funny. But now I think we're going to get almost close to $2 billion in our rainy day fund this year, which is pretty dramatic. And we have in Ohio, we've got a marker that when the rainy day fund gets to a certain point, that creates an automatic reduction of income tax for Ohio. So we're looking forward to potentially seeing that also. Some other things we've got going on. We, through the ballot, welcomed gaming into our state in 4 very specific areas around the state of Ohio. And we also are now dealing with internet cafes and a whole host of other issues that fall out from the gaming that we're dealing with. We are also looking at a constitutional modernization committee. We are term limited in the state of Ohio, and among a variety of other things this committee is looking at, one of them is term limits. For those of you that are in term limited states, you'll know that although there's some upside, there's huge downside when it comes to institutional knowledge and the ability to be reflective of what went on in the past as you're trying to move forward. So we're looking at a lot of those issues. Our neighboring states have done right to work. Michigan, Indiana are essentially right to work states now. And so we're looking and trying to monitor the fallout from that. We had our big, not as dramatic as Wisconsin, but we had our own labor bill up in the last year, last General Assembly, and we were referendum on that. So we were not successful in keeping some of those changes in our laws. So we're watching what's happening with Indiana and Michigan. So we've done a great job actually in the state of Ohio. It's pretty dramatic. We get harassed about some things, but it's pretty dramatic. Our governor has reduced the number of employees that we have in the state of state employees. We have consolidated departments. We have reduced the size of government. We have gone from an $8 billion structural deficit to almost a $2 billion rainy day fund. So there's really a lot of excellent things to say about what's happening in Ohio. So I'm pretty happy to report that. I, however, am most happy about giving President Faber the budget at the end of this week. So with that, I know President Faber is going to talk also, so I'll let him talk a little bit more on what's happening in Ohio. Any questions? Beautiful. Thank you.